And later in the bulletin, speakers at the Media General Dialogue Series on lifestyle audit spark renewed pressure on state institutions to demand transparency and hold public officers accountable for their wealth.
Later in business news, Ghana Association of Banks call for cautious 100 basis points rate cut from Bank of Ghana as Monetary Policy Committee readies for its announcement on Wednesday.
And on the international front, from December 10, under 16s in Australia cannot open social media accounts as platform asks to deactivate or remove all existing child accounts. We are live around the world on 3news.com and also streaming on Facebook, so be a part of the show. Let's hear from you.
We begin from the courts where lawyers for embattled Member of Parliament for Pandai, Matthew Nyindam, have filed a motion for a stay of execution challenging the decision of the Tamale High Court ordering a rerun of the parliamentary election. The Tamale High Court on Monday ruled that the Pandai constituency election be rerun within 30 days.
Supporters of both the governing National Democratic Congress and the opposition New Patriotic Party in the northern region were at the Tamale High Court for the judgment. The petitioner, Daniel Nsala Wakpal, and the first respondent, Matthew Nyindam, were both present in court. The court, in a short ruling, ordered a rerun of the Pandai parliamentary election within 30 days. Counsel for the Pandai Member of Parliament, Sylvester Isang, told journalists he has filed a motion appealing the ruling.
We respect the decision of the court, but we strongly disagree with the judgment, and we have already shown our aggrievement by filing a competent notice of appeal, and we've added a motion for stay of execution.
Lawyer for the petitioner, Nick Bakpo Samoa Ado, believes the court was right in its judgment.
The fairness of the entire thing, including the ample evidence that there was complete destruction of the biometric verification system and all that, the only alternative would be to rerun the election. And so we are very happy that the court has ordered that within 30 days, the election should be rerun.
We are prepared to get to the ground, prepare for the election, and at the end of the day, you know what my election director said? We want to set the ball rolling, and the seat will return back to NDC.
In a brief interaction with the media, Matthew Nyindam said he disagrees with the ruling.
I'm not afraid, let me put on record that for a run. You see, if genuinely we have to run, we won't have a problem. But if you decide to pave your way through, because you think that you are in government and you can use state powers to be able to coerce the people to vote for you, that's where we have a difficulty. In any case, he came to court with 41 polling stations. And these 41 polling stations are areas that I won with huge margins.
On January 30, 2025, the NDC parliamentary candidate in the 2024 parliamentary election, Daniel Nsala Wakpal, filed a petition at the Tamale High Court challenging the declaration of the New Patriotic Party's Matthew Nyindam as the Member of Parliament-elect for the Pandai constituency. According to the petition, the results of the parliamentary election as declared by the Electoral Commission were invalid due to irregularities and inconsistencies contained in some of the pink sheets. In the suit filed at the High Court, the former Pandai lawmaker stated that Forms 8A, Regulations 32.7 and 39.2 for 41 out of a total of 152 polling stations contained several inconsistencies and irregularities. Daniel Nsala Wakpal was seeking an order from the Tamale High Court to set aside the declared results in the affected polling stations and a rerun of the election in those areas.
In the midst of the court ruling restraining the MP from holding himself as MP, the man at the center of it all, that's Matthew Nyindam, took to Facebook to encourage his supporters and his constituents, and this is what he wrote on Facebook. He says, "Dear good people of Pandai, don't shiver, don't be perturbed, don't waver. We are a formidable team and nothing can break us. we will surely exhaust all the legal means. And that's what Matthew Nyindam wrote on Facebook after the ruling.
From Tamale, let's come to the Greater Accra region because the streets of the capital are expected to be busy again on Tuesday, the 25th of November, with another protest. And this time around, it is against the Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ejabeng. And Yonam Haliga details what the planned protest aims to achieve.
We didn't watch him leave. We were powerless. That is the truth. We were powerless. We saw him leave, but we couldn't prevent him from leaving at the airport.
That comment is proven to be the final nail in the coffin for Ghanaians who say they are yet to see any action since the office of the Special Prosecutor was set up. Since then, pressure continues to pile on both the Special Prosecutor and the office with calls for a complete dissolution of the institution. The latest in that pressure is a planned protest dubbed Agronifim, questioning why high-profile crimes are yet to see the light of day.
The theme for this demo is Agronifim. We are marching. We are wearing our red, black. I beg me, I wear my gown like this and I will go. This guy, yes, I wear the same gown and I will go and present my case. And if he doesn't listen and doesn't take it, then we'll know the sort of president he is.
Lead convener of the protest, Apostle Abraham Labi Lincoln, wants the office scrapped and the OSP, Kisi Ejabeng, to resign.
Let us march. We are marching straight to Jubilee House. Then we petition the president. President, Kisi, we don't hate him. We don't have a problem with all that place. Either it will be dissolved and reformed or sack all of them. Kisi need to be prosecuted. He even said need to be investigated.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu, who is backing the protest, wants Ghanaians to join the demonstrations.
As we talk now, there are 15 petitions for the removal of Kisi Ejabeng. When was the last time you heard 15? Even, the other persons who are subject to Article 146 proceedings. I've never heard of 15 petitions. So that tells you that there's something wrong.
While the pressure builds, the former NDC Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusaf Hussaini, wants Ghanaians to rather support the office in delivering on its mandate.
That people must understand that fighting corruption is a difficult task. And no one must underestimate the ability of people who have acquired wealth illegally to use their tainted wealth to corrupt other institutions of accountability. You must understand that. Now, they also have the ability, because of the wealth that they have, the money that they have gotten through corruption and corruption-related activities, to hire the best lawyers. That makes the fight against corruption an onerous tax. And that's what we must understand. So the office of the Special Prosecutor does not need condemnation. It needs encouragement.
The protest is expected to start from the Obras Ward in Accra and end at the Jubilee House, where the petition will be presented to the President. Enyonam Haliga, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, lawyer Martin Pebu has responded to a statement by the Office of the Special Prosecutor over claims that he refused to honor an invitation sent to him to report to the OSP on Friday. He described the act as shameful, saying the move was made to tarnish his reputation.
He says they invited me for Friday and I didn't show up. That's wrong. It's something to say they attempted to invite me for Friday and it failed. That's what you should be saying. The notice itself was late. It was on Thursday. No wonder it failed. On Thursday, you are looking for a senior lawyer like me to come to your office on Friday. That's too short. No wonder. Friday, they brought me a notice at close of day. It was around between 5 and 6 p.m. That's when I received the notice. I should come on Tuesday. That is reasonable. So it's unbecoming of Sami Darko to go and say that they invited me, I didn't come. How do you look for me Thursday afternoon that I should appear at the OSP on Friday? For what? What's the urgency about it? So I think this is very shameful to have come from Sami Darko. A lawyer should not behave like that. So I've received the letter. So they brought me a letter, like he himself has said in the interview, that I should come on Tuesday afternoon. And I would be going. Why am I scared? I would not be scared at all. What I said, I still stand by it.
Let's shift our attention to one of our headline stories. And speakers at the Media General Dialogue series on lifestyle audit have sparked renewed pressure on state institutions to demand transparency and hold public officers accountable for their wealth. Panelists also called for fresh laws and rallied government to enforce existing ones.
In Ghana, calls for lifestyle audits are intensifying in the wake of major corruption scandals. Governance expert Professor Bafo Ajimandua stressed the need to question the quality of individuals appointed into office.
As we live in this country today, you cannot go 10 kilometers straight on any decent road and feel great about the driving. We are building bad roads. We all see it. But when we hear of the budget allocations for these roads, we know there's something wrong. So who is that person who goes to inspect the road and passes it before the contractor is paid? But I have serious reservations about the ethics of public officers. We don't have ethics, and nobody talks about that. Enforcement will try, even though when you try, your own people will come in the night and kneel before you and bring some big people to beg you. We know all this, and we behave as if we don't. See, that hypocrisy is what kills me.
Transactions lawyer and public spirits individual Dr. David Ofosudoti raised concerns about limiting the laws to only public officers.
We pretend that we want to fight corruption. We are really not fighting corruption. Before we create a new law, we have existing institutions who are just not doing the right thing. An institution is only as strong as the people who are leading it. When the person leading the institution decides to enforce its law, the institution itself over a period becomes powerful.
Lawyer Martin Pibu called for a complete overhaul of Ghana's anti-corruption framework.
We need a complete overhaul of the laws. The laws right now are not fit for purpose. Yes. A public officer earning at least 5,000 Ghana, that's their qualification. So when they are leaving office, you just do the exit declaration and go away. But there should be a hearing. When we change the law, what we'll do is that you open the space for others to come in. So for me, more laws, I welcome them, because what would happen is that we are improving the laws.
As the debate over lifestyle audits grows louder, one question remains: will Ghana choose new laws or stronger enforcement of the old ones?
Let's now go to the Eastern region, where the Duke of Edinburgh has joined several other royals, including the late Queen Elizabeth II, who have planted a tree in the Aburi Botanical Gardens. Prince Edward dedicated the Wawa plant to the future of Ghana and its prosperity. George Queenan has more.
The Aburi Botanical Gardens is an iconic landmark with deep historical significance for both the United Kingdom and Ghana. Before the garden was established, it was a site of a sanatorium built in 1875 for Gold Coast government officials. The garden occupies an area of 64.8 hectares.
The Aburi Botanical Gardens was founded in 1890 by the then governor, William Bramford Griffith, and Dr. John Farrell Eastman. After some 315 years, it still serves the same purpose, aiding inhalation and also boosting Ghana's ecotourism.
The Duke of Edinburgh was welcomed by the traditional authorities of Aburi, led by the Aburi Hene and Adonte Hene of Ekuapem, His Royal Majesty Otubo Jan Kwesi II. The ceremony was attended by officials from the Ghana Tourism Authority, led by a Deputy CEO, Gilbert Abeku Agri, the Forestry Commission, and the MP for Ekuapem South, Laurentia Jiwonu. Prince Edward planted a Wawa tree, dedicating it to the future of Ghana and its prosperity. In 1961, the late Queen Elizabeth II planted a mahogany on her visit to the gardens on November 16, 1961. King Charles III also planted an oak tree in 1977 when he was a Prince of Wales.
There are some trees as old as 300 years existed in this very garden, and they are planted by the Ghana Tourism Authority to conserve some of these plants.
These symbolic exercises continue to deepen the Ghana-UK bilateral ties, which has spanned decades. George Queenan, TV3 News, Aburi, Eastern Region.
The government is in talks with ECOWAS and the World Food Programme as part of additional measures to reduce the glut of grains and cereals on the market. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series, the Agriculture Minister, Eric Opoku, stated that he will be meeting with ECOWAS officials on Tuesday to decide the way forward.
Firstly, even onion. We are told that over 3 million cedis worth of onion got destroyed on the market. because people were not buying. In fact, women in Volta region have given us their word that we should stop the importation of onion because they can produce enough to feed our country. During the beginning of the season, we anticipated that there will be glut on the market, but we were unable to anticipate the quantum of glut. So buffer stock is now going through the procurement processes. It's government money. You can't just step into the market, put the money in your pocket, and then start buying. So they are going through the processes. When they are done, they will get the licensed buyers to be on the field to buy the excess for them. We have also spoken to WFP. They are talking to their counterparts in other areas to see what they can do to mop up the SSS. We have also invited ECOWAS because they also have a responsibility to maintain strategic reserves against emergencies. So ECOWAS will be meeting me tomorrow to see what plans they have to also be part of the process. We are also speaking to our colleague ministers in West Africa and then Africa. Some of them have shortages and they want to see what they can do to buy to support their storage of cereals in those areas. But this is the first time we have experienced such situations, glut in over 2 or 3.
In more news tonight, teaching and learning for colleges of education across the country have come to an abrupt halt as the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana commenced a nationwide strike action on Monday, November 24. This arose from the association's claims of government repeated lapses in fully implementing the binding arbitral award, among other outstanding arrears. Noura Mohammed reports.
In the latter part of last month, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, threatened to embark on a strike if government did not fulfill their requests to implement an arbitral award granted by the National Labour Commission, NLC, in May 2023. As such, they have followed through with their threats and declared a nationwide indefinite strike action effective Monday, November 24, 2025. They have also accused the government of failure to keep to its promise after downgrading teachers post their migration onto the public university salary structure. Wahab Zulika is the local chairman of the association.
2019, that's during the COVID era, we taught for almost throughout the year, which the government promised to compensate that with 1 month salary. Till date, none has happened. But with Accra College, we had a part payment. But almost about 36 of our colleges have not received anything. 2022-2023 research allowance top-up. Up till now, the government has also not fulfilled that. We're told that with this migration, nobody will be shortchanged, only for them to do that. For now, it's an indefinite strike that we are embarking on until everything is paid. There's no way we'll go to class.
At the Accra Training College, we spoke to the SRC Vice President and some students to gauge the impact of the strike on their studies.
I feel sad because the outcome of this disagreement between the the government and our lecturers, the result or the impact is with the students. So as it stands, we are at our various dormitories, no classes going on, and we are just confused, especially the level 100s who just came to school about 3 weeks ago.
The lecturers are not in the class, so we just hang around and then we have a group presentation, so we are just working on that.
We are just level 100s and we came just 2 weeks now, so we don't know what we are doing, so we are pleading on them to come and then guide us on what we are to study for this semester. We beg them, they should come and teach us.
The association is calling for a decisive and swift action by the government in ensuring that every peswa owed them is paid. Noura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
Staying on education, the University of Gold Coast has held the second edition of its annual MBA congregation. The graduation brought together graduates, academics, and industry leaders for a ceremony that examined not only the academic achievement, but also Ghana's economic direction.
The Gold Coast Hall was filled with pride and excitement
As faculty, families and business leaders joined the university community for the congregation. Addressing the congregation, Chancellor of Gold Coast University Dr. Gideon Titio Fair emphasized the need for ethical leadership in an evolving global economy.
As our graduates prepare to step into the world of business, governance, ministry, and industry, we are reminded that nations rise when leaders rise, and economies shift when minds shift. Ghana's future depends on men and women who are prepared, principled, and purposeful, and today represent such men and women.
The Vice-Chancellor, Prof. Cedric Bell, echoed the sentiments, applauding the graduates for their resilience throughout the MBA program.
Harness the toolkit of a visionary entrepreneur. Think outside the box. Be innovative and creative, but never accept there's nothing that can be done. The skills you have acquired, use them to good effect for your personal advancement, your family, and national benefit.
The 2025 valedictorian Millicent Ejay Okwampa says this achievement is a call to action to contribute to Ghana's growth with purpose and excellence. The congregation saw 546 students graduating.
First Bank Ghana has expanded its support for student welfare and digital access with an initiative on the University of Ghana campus. The bank has commissioned Hotspot Comfort Zone, offering students a modern space to study, relax and to connect. And this initiative is aimed at enhancing learning and improving students' access to technology.
Hotspot Comfort Zone serves as a multi-purpose hub equipped with free Wi-Fi, charging stations, comfortable seating and a modern ambience for group studies and relaxation. The project forms part of First Bank Ghana's broader mission to support youth development through digital inclusion and campus-friendly initiatives. Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs, Professor Gordon Awandari, commended First Bank Ghana for the initiative, noting that it aligns with the university's vision.
These hotspot comfort zones, they are meant to provide a space for our students to be able to sit down in between lectures and do whatever they need to do in between classes they can do here. The overall goal is to enhance the experience of our students on campus, not only in their academic work.
Group CEO of First Bank Nigeria and subsidiaries, Olusegun Alebioso, highlighted the project as part of the bank's commitment to empowering young people through digital access and inclusive learning environments.
We do believe that the youths, that the future of Africa, and that if you invest in their future, you're only growing Africa and growing the same set of people that will come and bank with you in the future. For us, this Digital Experience Center, we play a pivotal role in shaping learning, innovation, in tech development in the University of Ghana.
Student representatives of the University of Ghana stressed that the initiative is a timely intervention and noted that the space will ease pressure on existing libraries and study hubs. The bank plans to replicate similar hotspots across other campuses nationwide.
Stronger child protection systems, digital safety and inclusive opportunities for every child were topical recommendations as Ghana joined the rest of the world to mark this year's UNICEF World Children's Day. UNICEF Ghana calls for a coordinated nationwide response that ensures children are protected, empowered, and given equal opportunities to thrive.
The commemoration comes at a time when reported cases of child abuse, defilement, trafficking, and online exploitations are rising across the country, sparking renewed pressure on government and stakeholders to act with urgency. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, whilst condemning the recent attack on children, says it is rolling out new measures to protect victims.
We come together not only to celebrate our children, but to reflect on our collective responsibility to ensure that every child in Ghana can grow up safely, healthy, educated, protected, and empowered to realize their full potential and aspirations.
At the national celebration in Accra, children used poetry, music and art to highlight how violence affects them and call for urgent steps to be taken to protect their interests.
This is not just a music to listen and have fun and catch cruise with, but then again it speaks so much about what we can do for our children to set a good pace for their future.
UNICEF representative to Ghana urged government to enforce the law on child protection.
And what we are seeing today, we are seeing a great progress that we are very proud of. And I know that the government of Ghana is so committed to continue the journey that until every right is met for every child. And that commitment is really admirable, and that's what I really particularly hail about Ghana. And I always say, Ghanaian children, you have to know that you are very lucky to be Ghanaians.
This year's theme, My Rice, My Day, focuses on listening to younger voices and giving them the platform they need to thrive.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. Business, sports and entertainment are all coming up.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News, leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
It's the Indomitable Hero Pack promo. The goal is to win a trip to Disneyland Paris. We all have 8 comic books, right? I have.
Segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana says Ghana is on the verge of entering a new era of price stability, with inflation forecast to settle between 4% and 6% by the end of the year, firmly within the bank's target range. Speaking at the opening of the 127th Monetary Policy Committee meetings, Dr. Johnson Isiama added that the country's economic rebound is now broad-based enough to signal a transition from recovery to sustained expansion.
The Bank of Ghana says the toughest period of price hikes is now behind the country and that macro stability is gaining firmer ground.
Real rates remain high, creating room for a carefully calibrated easing cycle. And with inflation likely to settle between 4 to 6% by year end, before stabilizing around the target band in 2026, Ghana is entering what could become a multi-year period of price stability.
According to Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama, recent gains have not been accidental, but the result of coordinated fiscal and monetary discipline and reforms in foreign exchange operations. He says the real economy is now showing clear signs that the nation is moving beyond recovery.
These gains confirm that the negative output gap is narrowing and the economy is gradually shifting from recovery to expansion. But the turnaround is not accidental. It reflects our sustained fiscal discipline, the cautious but determined monetary stance, and structural policy reforms, particularly the improvements in the FX operations framework and the rebuilding of our external buffers.
The governor says the policy rate decision will continue to balance growth support with inflation control as the country works to secure long-term economic stability.
Now, President Mahama has stressed the urgent need to decentralize the operations of the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department. Speaking at the annual conference of the African Association of Accountants General in Accra, he said decentralizing the operations of the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department is key to improving efficiency and reducing opportunities for financial mismanagement.
Of Accountant General's Department. We have struggled with this for some years, and I think that the time has come when we take bold action about decentralizing the Accountant General's departments. The Accountant General in Ghana manages the payroll of a nurse in my hometown in Bole. If she reports to work, she doesn't report to work. If she deserts her position, her salary continues to go into her account, because by the time somebody writes a letter to the region sends it to the ministry sends it to the Accountant General, some 3, 4, 5, 6 months have passed. And then every year the Auditor General will flag it and say somebody continued to receive a salary even after they had deserted their post. There's a case of the person who died. I'm sure you heard it in the last Auditor General's report.
To more stories now, and the Ghana Association of Banks expects the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee to reduce their key lending rates by at most 100 basis points to 20.5%. The MPC is currently holding its 127th regular meetings from November 24 to 26, 2025 to review the state of the economy.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Iwa, urged the central bank to adopt a cautious approach to its easing inflationary pressures as the committee is slated to announce its decision on Wednesday, November 26, 2025.
I would think that they will be very measured in reducing the policy rate in order not to create problem, creating some level of inflation as a result. So I'm thinking that maybe somewhere around 100 basis points at the maximum potentially will be where the central bank or the committee will be looking at reducing the rate because of the uncertainties around the inflation outlook in December, given the seasonal nature, and we know how prices behave in December in the country.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
When you're going to buy a place, don't look left, don't look right. Go
Ampofo. Let's begin on the domestic front where Aduana FC reclaimed the summit of the Ghana Premier League after grinding out a tough victory over Berekum Chelsea, while Asante Kotoko were forced to settle for an exciting stalemate all the way in Summerboy against Samatex. Here's a roundup of the action from the various match centers over the weekend, compiled by my colleague Mutala Yakubu.
Of the Ghana Premier League has come to a closure with some interesting results. It started on Friday where Mediema and Bechem United clash at the TNA Park, with Mediema hoping to continue their winning form, but it did not come to fruition as that game ended goalless. In the end, it is Bechem who could have even gotten all 3 points when Augustine's Okra effort struck the woodwork and the game ended goalless. At Wenchi, it was Hearts of Folk that made that long journey to face Young Apostles. Hearts were hoping getting back to winning ways as well, but that game also ended goalless. And in Sechue Park, where Samatex also hosted Asante Kotoko, it was a big one, beautiful game. That game went on to the dying numbers, where Samatex were awarded a penalty under some controversial circumstances, which Emmanuel Mama stepped up but missed, and that game also ended goalless. Aduana were the heavy victors of the weekend as they won by 3-1 against Berekum Chelsea, meaning that they've solidified their position on top of the Ghana Premier League and are still on course at winning this year's Ghana Premier League, even though we are not done with the first round. We also had Karela also winning against the likes of Holy Stars. 11 Wonders, they are in the news again, even though they drew their game 1-1 against Hoho United away from home. They have parted ways with their manager, Jay Sapon, just after a month of hiring him, and Jay Sapon feels that the working condition is not right for him. That is why he has left his post. So 11 Wonders are still in search of a new manager. So match day 11 done and dusted. We are moving on to match day 12.
To some women's football, where Black Queens head coach Kimlas Bjorkegren has unveiled his 24-woman squad for the friendly against European champions England, a high-profile game that will cap the Lionesses' homecoming series and offer the Black Queens a valuable test ahead of the upcoming World Cup qualifiers and next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Our women's football expert, Akosia J, has more details in the following report.
Black Queens coach Kimlas Bjorkegren has named 24 players ahead of the team's clash with the Lionesses of England. It is the final game in the homecoming series for the 2025 Euro champions, organized to thank fans for their support and to begin preparations for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. This will be the first meeting between the two sides. The Black Queens were bronze medalists at the 2024 WAFCON, while the Lionesses are the European champions. Anastasia Echan returns to the squad after a long absence, and Civets Geneva FC defender Benedict Simon ends her debut call-up. Coach Kimlas will use this high-profile match to measure his team against a World Cup contender, as the 2025 Women's African Cup of Nations will serve as a World Cup qualifier. The match will be played on Tuesday, December 2nd at the St. Mary's Stadium.
Well, before we go, Manchester United are about to face Everton at Old Trafford in the final game of the Premier League matches this weekend. You can get updates of that on our social media handles at 3SportsGH, and also highlights of that on Sports Station, which comes your way live on TV3 at 9 p.m. My name is Obeku Ampofo, and entertainment is up next.
love and unwavering support throughout the competition. Many people, proud of her achievement, believe Etonam's success will serve as a powerful inspiration for young girls in her community and across the region.
2025 Etona!
In October this year, Etonam made history by reclaiming the highly coveted Ghana's most beautiful crown for the Volta region. To many, her victory is a remarkable achievement worthy of celebration.
She walks in grace like a story untold, wearing her strength, continuity control.
The streets of Sogakope came to a standstill as Etonam moved through the township to thank residents for their prayers, love, and votes during the show.
She is fire, she is rain, she is the smile you see after pain.
The atmosphere was electrifying. The streets beamed with smiles as die-hard fans, including older women, poured out to welcome her in a grand style. The euphoria continued in Adidome, where massive crowds gathered to celebrate her triumph. Addressing the gathering, Etonam expressed deep gratitude to the chiefs and people of the region for the overwhelming support throughout the competition. She said the encouragement, prayers, and belief in her talent kept her grounded and motivated on the national stage.
My chiefs, my queen mothers, it's amazing. I am grateful to them for their love, for all that they've done for me, for the gifts, Semas, and all of the sources. I mean, the whole community and Volta region at large. And also,
many people proud of her achievement believe Etonam's success will serve as a powerful inspiration for young girls in her community and across the region.
Life dealt you lemons. You refused to allow it to set your teeth on edge. You made lemonade out of it. Today, look at what we see. Congratulations.
Etonam's story is telling us that no matter the challenges we face in life, we will surely go through and become whoever we want to be. So we must all persevere, be hardworking, we must be excellent in whatever we do and be disciplined, just as our core values.
Her homecoming, filled with color, excitement, and tradition, reflects the pride of a region united behind their newly crowned queen.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you so much, Noella. Coming up, international news.
From 10th December, social media companies will have to take reasonable steps to ensure that under-16s in Australia cannot set up accounts on their platforms and that existing accounts are deactivated or removed. The Australian government has so far named 10 platforms to be included in the ban: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, TikTok, X, YouTube, Reddit, and streaming platforms Kick. Government says the ban, a world-first policy popular with many parents, is aimed at reducing the pressures and risks children can be exposed to on social media.
Well, that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Esiedu Datin.
And I am Portia Gabodu. Join the sports station team at 9 p.m. as well as 10 p.m. There's Ghana Tonight. Good evening.